What's
Merry
going on,
Christmas.
folks? Merry Christmas Eve, huh?
Yep.
So let's kick this thing off right away. Today was the Immaculate Reception. Anyone aware of that? Like,
52-year
Yeah.
anniversary of the most infamous deception in NFL history, if you're a Raider fan.
well, we'll never know if it skipped off the concrete at Three River Stadium or not.
I was trying to tell you, I've hit 200 points back-to-back weeks in the playoffs so far in my fantasy.
They said that with that interception, though, if they had replay back then, they said that it would have been overturned and they would have called it incomplete because they said it did bounce on the turf.
Mm-hmm.
There just wasn't replay then to look at it.
Actually, should have been an illegal play because back in that time, an offensive player wasn't allowed to pick it.
My fantasy lineup was pretty good. I think I'm going to let it run another week as long as James Conner is
They said
not
replay.
serious.
Jeremy's on a whole new level right now, all about fantasy.
Oh,
He doesn't
yeah.
he doesn't give a shit about the Immaculate Reception 52 years ago.
I don't. It's the Steelers.
By the way, didn't the Raiders have a couple friendly calls go against them? Anybody heard of Holy Rolo?
And the tuck rule.
Yeah, the tuck roll. I was about to say the tuck roll.
Charles Woodson, who now works for Fox on Fox NFL Kickoff.
I thought that 30 at 30 was pretty good whenever him and Brady did it. Chad, how you
They were
doing?
teammates in Michigan.
Chad
Jason,
Stima.
you're quiet, buddy. What's going on?
I'm just listening to all you guys. I'm doing fantastic. How's everyone doing tonight?
I figured you would have given us an update on the game real quick.
Oh, well, it's still 14-0 Packers. Josh Jacobs is doing Josh Jacobs things. Stiff arming Saints defenders, making them look like little bitches. And right now, Green Bay, at least for the first half, okay, we still got 2 quarters left to play. At least right now, Green Bay is not succumbing to the trap game element, and they're playing efficient football, both offensively and defensively. Of course, Spencer Rattler is starting at quarterback for the Saints tonight, so you can't accurately judge the competition on the other side of the ball. But so far, go Pack, go! 14-0. Let's go!
Oh, man. All right, that's good, I guess.
And Spencer Rattler within time could still not be a bad quarterback. This is just a hard situation for him in his rookie year.
Did you hear what the Saints did in preparing for this game at Lambeau?
Yeah, they stuck their quarterback in a freaking freezer.
They stuck Spencer Rattler in a freezer?
Yep. Him and a couple of other offensive players just to get used to the so-called elements out there at Lambeau. At the frozen tundra, which doesn't look so frozen tonight, but it's still pretty cold there.
Jamie, I wish you would have been on Wednesday because I predicted that the Lions would win 34-13.
Sorry, my dog was eating an
What show?
On my show Wednesday night.
What, 34-13
Over Chicago.
Over Chicago?
Yeah.
You were 4
here we
points
go.
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Now 20-0 Packers. Chris Brooks with a run up the middle for a touchdown for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, all the Josh Jacobs owners are going to be mad.
They'll get over it.
Yeah, my best one's using Josh Jacobson only, but he's already into the championship.
Would you change anything about this lineup for this week coming up if you had this for fantasy? Jared Goff at quarterback, James Conner as running back 1, Jonathan Taylor as your running back 2, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Brian Thomas Jr., Calvin Austin, Jake Elliott as your kicker, the Lions defense, and Jake Ferguson at tight end. Would you change anything?
Who's on your bench?
I'd switch out Tucker Kraft for Ferguson. That's just me.
I don't have Tucker Kraft. He's on another team.
Who's on your bench?
Garendo, who's out. Andrew Iosivas, or however you say his name, from Cincinnati. Xavier Legette.
Andre Iosivas.
Yeah, and he's out. He got 14 points. Brian Thomas got me 28-20. Sorry.
Who's your tight end? Who's your tight end, Jeremy?
Jake Ferguson. And the other one was Will Dissly, but he's hurt.
Fergie Ferg.
Okay, yeah.
Fergie
You-
Ferg. Let me
You have any
long.
running backs? Oh, Garendo.
Connor, Taylor. I also have Braylon Allen. And that's it. That's my only other backup.
James
because
Connor's
Flacco's
good.
out.
I had him in my fantasy league.
I had J.K.
That's-
Dobbins too, but he's on the injured reserves. I was able to.
Especially considering that with Connor, he got a 2-year, $19 million extension with the Cardinals. So yeah.
I stashed Jonathan Taylor in the IR because somebody dropped him while he was hurt there that couple of weeks.
What
He
a
was out.
fucking
He
idiot.
had a monster game yesterday at over 200 yards rushing.
He had
Yep.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
39.8 points.
Pretty solid lineup, Jeremy.
Jeremy, is this not a keeper league? Is this not a dynasty?
No, it's just a 1 year winner take all league.
Oh.
This
Wow.
would be in the championship match, which is a 2-week match. Week 17 and 18 are combined for it.
So you really need to smash in 17 because some players might not be playing in 18.
Well, the good news is I know that Goff and Amon Ra will, because Dan Campbell says I refuse to sit players even if we have the 1 seed locked up. So even if Jason's Packers go in there and smack Minnesota next week and they lose, we'll have the 1 seed wrapped up because we've been the 1 seed the entire time that Minnesota and Philly was tied with us.
Yeah, but in a funny way, you'd rather have Minnesota win because then it'd be for the division title.
Why? Have it all wrapped up. Why do you?
Yeah,
Why have it all wrapped up, and then you could just play your guys for a half to keep them fresh, pull them out, and then play your backups to get them some snaps and some reps before you go into the playoffs with the week off. Am I wrong?
No, Jeremy, you're absolutely right. You want to wrap this thing up. You want to end it, and like go into next Sunday or the next Sunday or Saturday, whatever you guys play.
That's
go
the
in
one
there
thing
and-
the Lions seem to neglect to do, though. When they're up, like even when they're up big and they're up by 40, they don't seem to call the dogs off. Though.
I can attest.
Yes,
that
we have. Yes, we have, because in the fourth quarter, it was Hendon Hooker and all of our backups in versus the Jags, versus the Titans, and versus.
Wait a minute.
Allen.
Well, then how come I remember Amon Ra catching a touchdown in the fourth quarter of that game? when
That
it
was
like,
the first play of the fourth quarter, and then he never touched the field again because it was during a drive that Jared Goff started. They don't switch guys in the middle of a drive.
Wait, can I ask you something, Jeremy, about like what about the Hendon Hooker situation? Because I think he's either got to feel really thankful or he's got to feel like crap because of you know how you paid Goff all that money and everything. You drafted Hendon Hooker too to be your future. Is that still the plan? Even though
Right?
you paid Goff all that money.
They've even talked about that this offseason. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, we drafted him to be the best backup in the league. That way, at the tail end of Goff's career, when he's ready to retire, he's ready to roll in as a starter. We're doing the same thing with him that the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers, with Jordan Love, and it's a smart plan.
That's what I was just ready to.
That-
I was
that-
just.
I'm
Goff
glad
not
that hasn't changed because I like Hendon Hooker. I think he could, if he ever got a shot, I think he could be
But
not
he's-
great, but I think one of the underrated quarterbacks of that 2023 class.
He still doesn't have the NFL decision making. We've seen that when he's been in these fourth quarter situations. He hasn't been 100% at all. So until he gets to where he's at that point where he's able to take a drive and make it 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4 even. Because the one time he was 1 out of 4, the other time he was 3 out of 4, and then he was 2 out of 4. But he's not consistent.
Right. But see, the one thing he's got over Goff is he's a dual threat. He's got a strong arm and he can run with his legs too.
Well, if you go back and look at Tennessee, they had a strong interior O-line, but their tackles were bad, which was why a lot of the times he ran. He actually was more of a pro-style quarterback. He ran out of necessity. He's athletic enough to do whatever the hell he wants.
Mhm.
You'd rather have a guy that's a quarterback first. You don't want a guy that's just an athlete, because then you got to develop the quarterback skills. He has all the stuff, the mechanics. He has the deep arm. He has all that stuff. They're just working on getting him to game speed.
Exactly.
And Patty Grimes is right. You never had enough good quarterback backup.
Or the Giant. What are the Giants going to do with that number 1 pick?
Quarterback.
Fuck it up.
From what I heard, it's Cam Ward. But yeah,
Oh.
they're going to fuck up, because what they should do is trade it back for a buttload of picks. Trade it back with the team that has like 2 first-round picks. Go ahead and get themselves an O-lineman first. Interior O-lineman. Their interior O-linemen are awful. Their offensive tackles can't stay healthy.
They just upgraded their offensive line last year after they got rid of Barkley.
But yet, they're like the 3rd most sacked team in the NFL right now because everybody's hurt.
Mhm.
You think the Bears wish they would have traded back now?
No, because guess what? Caleb Williams so far has been, statistic-wise, the best rookie quarterback they've ever had. The problem is he's been sacked 60 times.
Dude, yeah, because it's all in the first half.
We've said it a million times on the show, though. He could pick apart zone defenses, but he's
Yeah, in the second half, that's it, when they're not really playing. And they're already down by 1 million.
Well, Caleb Williams' problem is the problem that all Bears quarterbacks face.
Their offensive lines. No, that is true though. If you listen to the commentators, they said
anything to cover for Caleb Williams, it's disastrous.
That's why what's his face can't run the ball. DeAndre Swift either.
Caleb Williams hasn't thrown a pick in 300 passes.
9
He
straight
has no protection from that offensive line, and the announcers are right when they say that. I've watched those games.
But at the same time, if Caleb didn't play hero ball half the time, some of those sacks wouldn't happen.
But if he had protection, you wouldn't have to play hero ball.
No.
Dude,
The
these
hero
Saints are
ball
bad,
is
aren't
when he
they?
runs out of the pocket over 3 seconds, is what I'm saying. He's had a pocket held for 2.7 seconds. Your average quarterback gets rid of the ball somewhere between 2.6 and 3 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't roll out of that pocket till he hits the 3-second mark. So if that's the case, if he's rolling out of the pocket late because he's not under pressure, is that the O-line or is it him? Because Justin Fields used to do the same thing.
I mean, right now, I don't want to blame Caleb Williams, but the Bears need
I blame the Bears.
The Bears have the oldest ownership in the league. They've got an ownership that thinks the 85 football should be run like the 85 Bears. The Bears have to make. I mean, the Bears face the same decision the Chargers did, and you know what they did? They put up their big boy pants and got a top 5 football coach in Jim Harbaugh. The Bears have to do the same decision. Otherwise, Caleb Williams is going to get killed. He's going to be Andrew Luck or David Cole.
So, according to Carl of Barstool Sports, the Bears are not that far away. They just need a new owner, new president, new GM, new coach, new stadium, at least 3 offensive linemen, a new OC, new DC. Caleb Williams gets better. The Lions fall off. The Lions fall off. The Vikings fall off, and the Packers change divisions, and they can be a good team.
Well,
the new stadium's going to be good because they'll be able to host a Super Bowl, and it's going to help the city of Chicago to get a new stadium.
Hey, Jason, without any bias, I mean, your team's already played the Bears, and we know what happened at the end of that game with a blocked field goal. But why have the Bears just not gotten quarterbacks right?
For one simple point, Dylan, they just can't evaluate the position. I think there are a number of reasons why you can say they don't evaluate the position well. The Cleveland Browns have had the same problem. They have had problems with quarterbacks as well. But getting back on topic, the Bears have either gone for the sexy, sure, all-star pick like Caleb Williams, or they just, for whatever reason, they just can't evaluate the position, Dylan. And I think part of the reason stems from what Jeremy just alluded to earlier, which is There's no stability in the front office. There's no stability in the scouting department. When you have a football team that doesn't have a blueprint for the direction that they want to go, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's both, you're not going to evaluate the most important position on the football field accurately and fairly. And yes, the Bears have gone a very long time with misevaluating quarterbacks here, not doing their homework, whatever. And look, to be fair to Caleb Williams here, Adam and I are in the same boat. We're not fans of Caleb Williams. We both think he's overrated. He's a prima donna. I think he's going to end up being another Vince Young. He's a mental cupcake who up here doesn't have what it takes yet to lead a team to victories when it matters the most. But I will say this, to be fair to Caleb Williams, again, he's on a team that has no direction, no guidance, and it's so difficult to evaluate the quarterback position anyway, because Williams is not the only quarterback in the last 5 to 6 years who was flamed out. Let's take a look at Daniel Jones. Remember when Daniel Jones was supposed to be the franchise for the New York Giants? Well, the New York Giants just cut their franchise a couple of weeks ago. Sam Darnold was supposed to be the quarterback of the future for the New York Jets. They let go of him. We saw what happened with Desmond Ridder in Atlanta. They gave up on him. The point I'm trying to make is the Bears continue to miss on this position because they don't know where they're going as a franchise. And when you don't know where you're going, you can't evaluate any position, much less quarterback. That's my take.
And I look at your team. The last 3 big quarterbacks for the Packers: Brett Favre, Aaron
Acquired for
Rodgers,
trade.
and Jordan Love. 2 of them are going to be. One's in the Hall of Fame. One will be in the Hall of Fame. And Jordan Love's uber talented.
Jordan Love is uber talented, playing the best football of his career right now. He's completed over 65.6% of his passes over the last 7 or 8 games. He's cut down on the interceptions. He's making plays within the game. And the reason why the Packers, I'm not boasting about them because they're my favorite team, Jeremy. The reason why the Packers are so good at evaluating that position, guys, is because as an organization, as a coaching staff, they know what they want to do. They know what offense they want to put in place. And they evaluate the guys who fit in best with their system. They're not like the Bears where they evaluate guys based on how they're going to look in front of the camera on Sundays, how they're going to look selling cans of fucking Campbell's soup like Jason Kelce. They evaluate guys based on how they fit into their system because the Packers know what system they're going to run. And that's why they've done well with Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love. Could they have slipped and missed on all 3 of those guys? Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't. And so that's another point I'm trying to make too, is that because the Packers have a general direction where they're going, they haven't deviated from that course for the last 20 to 25 years. And that's why we've fared better with just 3 quarterbacks rather than the Bears with just 25 and counting or however many it's been. Henry Burris, Spurgon Wynn. The list just goes on of all the failed Bears quarterbacks that didn't make the final cut.
And the other thing that doesn't help them is they've done the same thing the last 3 times they've drafted a quarterback. They waited to the dead duck last year of a head coach's contract to draft a quarterback to try and save his job, get the next big thing. It was Mitch Trubisky with Lovie Smith, right?
Yep.
And it was Justin Fields with Matt. Wait, I'm still going through this.
So
I let you talk.
Fox, not Lovie Smith.
Oh, either way, it was the last year of his contract. John Fox to Mark Trestman, right? Then they went Matt Nagy to Eberflus. Then in the last year of Eberflus's year, when polls didn't even want him, the report came out he tried to get him fired before they did the draft because he wanted a new coach here with Caleb Williams. That way it was a fresh start on both sides. And the McCaskies and Davis Warren, the president of football operations, told him, no, we're keeping Flus. So as long as the McCaskies and Warren are in charge of that front office, you're going to continue to have this discontinuity in that whole regime.
Would the Bears have this problem? They would have hired Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh wasn't going to Chicago.
Davis Warren told Jim Harbaugh no. Jim Harbaugh called for the job this offseason, and he goes, no, we're sticking with Matt Eberflus. He wanted the job in Chicago.
Really?
And that's a report that
Yeah.
came out of the Wolverine.com, not from Chicago News, not from some just average beat writer. This came from the guys that run the paper that it writes about the Wolverines. Broski Bear, Jim Harbaugh said he wanted to coach the Bears. James Burgess, Warren did in fact F that up. True story.
And of
Amazing.
course, it doesn't help that Caleb Williams is in the toughest division in football with
You know, when people say I have sources and they refuse to name them, I refuse to believe their sources, Broski Bear. He said one glowing thing about Caleb Williams in his post-game interview, and now everybody thinks he wants to coach the Bears.
I don't think it matters what division Caleb Williams plays in this season. I think if he had gone to any other division, he would have had similar struggles, regardless of what team he ended up getting drafted by.
He fails to read and react versus man defenses. This is what I saw while he was in college. The only teams he beat up on were the ones with bad defenses that run predominantly zone.
And Jeremy, Jeremy, I live out here in California, and I saw plenty of Caleb's games at USC, not only in person but on the tube. And I can tell you, he has athletic talent. I won't deny that. But what I was looking for in Caleb Williams was a guy who had leadership abilities. Because when you draft a quarterback number 1 overall, one of the things you should be looking for is leadership abilities, even in a young quarterback. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. But in college at USC, on the rare occasions where 2 seasons ago, okay, when USC was highly overrated, thank you, Lincoln Riley, there were several games where Caleb Williams would throw a towel over his head and start bawling and crying a river. He would lay on the bench and whine and grip and gripe and bicker. And that, to me, right there, set off a dozen red flags. Do you really want to have the cornerstone of your franchise laying sullen on the bench with a towel over his head, crying and bawling after he gets sacked? No. You want the guy sacking up, going over to his coaches and saying, all right, what did I do wrong? What do I have to do to get better? You want a guy who's not afraid to have a coach get in his face, grab his face mask and say, you sucked on that play. Here's what you have to do better. Caleb is a cupcake because he was treated like a cupcake at USC. Now, until he can prove otherwise, I'm going to stick by that theory. Again, I acknowledge he has athletic talent. He's on a bad football team. Yes, not an accurate gauge as to how good he can be. But even good quarterbacks find ways to be good on bad teams on occasion. You see glimpses of it here and there. So until he proves otherwise, he's going to be a mental cupcake to me. Adam, do you agree?
Jay, you're getting fight mode, brother.
Broski, I'm going to fight back because Caleb just did that versus the 49ers where he laid down and pretended like he was going to sleep with his interpretive dance of acting like Anthony Richardson saying, I'm tired.
Broski, my name's not Packer Boy. My name's Jason. But thanks anyway, though.
But anyways, the other thing that I know that Caleb wasn't a leader was right after the bowl game that he refused to play in because he was entering the draft. And the wide receiver, Brendan Rice, when in the interview asked, we finally played like a team and led by a quarterback that's a true leader.
Yep.
He said the words.
Yep.
Look, Brewski Bear, I don't care. He's gotten all his main points in that second half because teams are already beating the living shit out of your team, and they just fall into that prevent lose defense, and that's why he's having great numbers. And he wouldn't have done shit against the Lions if there would have actually threw some flags on the Bears line holding them in that game on Thursday on Thanksgiving. It was bullshit, and I don't care. I think he's a bomb.
Oh, I understand. We just said he's a talented quarterback.
A rich bum. How about that? He's a rich bum.
But at the same time, if you look back at this past Sunday, this Legion of Whom defense led by a bunch of nobodies, guess what? We held Caleb Williams to 3 points the entire half. Know why? We didn't go to zone defense.
Right. Right. You learned your lesson.
So
You learned your lesson.
So Jamie, what did you think of Josh Allen's punt yesterday?
Oh, the arm punt where he threw the interception. That actually that worked out because it was like a punt and the Patriots only went.
Yeah, why did the Patriots bring that out of the end zone? That was the dumb move.
Right. Because that started the clock.
That's why it ended up being a great play because they got the ball on the 1 yard line.
Right, it was like an arm punt. He's done that before, Josh Allen, in games where he uses that big arm and he just chucks it and it's like a free punt basically.
No, but why not bat it down and you get the ball back where he threw the damn thing?
Or stay in the end zone and at least come out to the 20.
That would be my idea.
That's not up to Josh. That's up to the other team.
I understand it's up to the other team. I'm just saying, why the hell did that guy even try to run it out of the end zone? Did he have grandeur that he was Chris McAllister and going to run a 109 interception return?
Probably.
All right, so James brought up a key name over there. Is Burrow going to lead the Bengals to a playoffs position? Is this going to happen?
Who knows?
Wow. Well, I mean, obviously, it all hinges on the Denver game.
It's going to actually largely hinge on what the Steelers do on Wednesday.
That too, yeah. First of all, actually, Burrow's having a fantastic season. If you look at the numbers,
oh yeah.
So is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, first Cincinnati wide receiver to have over 1,500 yards ever.
Problem with Joe Burrow is he don't play defense, and his defense is poopy pants.
So Burrow has the talent to lead the Bengals to the playoffs. But in addition to beating Denver this week, they have to have a couple of chips fall on their side of the table as well. So even if the Bengals win, there's still no guarantee they're gonna get a playoff berth. So a lot hinges also on what happens with Miami, what happens with Pittsburgh. So there's still a number of different moving parts that determine whether or not Burrow can lead Cincinnati to the playoffs.
Yeah, if the Chiefs beat the Steelers, then the Chiefs have the 1 seed, which means they may rest guys week 18 in Denver.
Yep.
And so could the Broncos beat the Chief backups? Is another story.
I guess I suppose so. I don't know enough about the Broncos to accurately assess that. But I mean, sure, I guess, assuming that Kansas City's backups come out and play a full 4 quarters, I guess.
I mean, maybe they let Taylor Swift run the wing tee off it. Oh wait, did I say her name? Crap.
It had to go there.
You're fine. It's December.
So
there, I referenced one of her.
Point,
all right, Dylan, I backed you up. I referenced one of her songs.
So players with over 275 attempts. Who's your top 3 in completion percentage right now?
Golf.
Wait, what are we doing?
So players with over 275 attempts. Who is your top 3 in completion percentage right now?
Jared Goff.
He's number 2.
Lamar.
I'm saying Joe Burrow.
Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
Geno Smith is 5th.
Herbert.
5th. Okay.
Herbert? Justin Herbert didn't even make the second page. Number 1 is Tua Tagovailoa at 72.5%. Goff is at 71.4 with 472 attempts.
Oh, Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield is number 3 with 566 attempts at 71%.
By the way,
Geno Smith. Oh, I'm sorry. Geno Smith is 4th at 528 attempts at 70.1. You know who's 5th in the league, and it's not Joe Burrow. It's Jaden frickin' Daniels.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way,
who picked him going to Washington in the draft? Oh, that was me. I did. I had that.
5 turnovers and 5 touchdowns yesterday.
Yep.
And now the
Got to have a
Commanders
short memory when you throw those turnovers and you turn them into touchdowns.
James Burgess does a great point here. Cleveland sure has to be happy they chased Baker away, who wanted to play there.
I still would have loved if they would have done the commercial where he went from State Farm to Progressive to State Farm.
Joe Burrow is at 557 attempts and 68.9. Jalen Hurts is 361 with 68.7.
Well,
Kyler
he's gonna
Murray.
have to pull a Houdini act, abracadabra this Saturday.
Kyle-
this
Slim
might be
Shady
a good
Burrow.
question for you, Jeremy and Jason, but quickly, do the Eagles need Jalen Hurts? I mean, obviously at 100%, but how much do the Eagles need to rely on Jalen Hurts in the playoffs?
Are you asking me if Kenny Pickett is reliable? How many times did he drop the ball on fucking Sunday? How many? I mean, he played a decent game, but he didn't get the job done.
Well,
Dylan.
But I mean, there were a lot of missed calls on AJ Brown. AJ Brown should have had like a 300-yard day. They just held him on every opportunity, and the refs kind of put away the hanky on Sunday against AJ Brown, and I thought that was ridiculous.
So 10 on down is where it gets interesting, right? Because 10 is Kyler Murray with 458 at 68.6. 11 is Lamar Jackson with 427 at 67.9. Derek Carr barely makes it at 67.7 because he has 279 attempts. Drake May.
Fresno State.
Drake May, 315 attempts at 67.6. Sam Darnold at 461 at 67.2. I don't even know how Kirk Cousins, with as many interceptions he has, is on this list, but he's at 453 at 66.9. Ahead of Patrick Mahomes, who has 543 attempts at 66.8. The next one down is Matthew Stafford at 66.6. Then it's Gardner Minshew at 66.3. And then you have to go all the way down, and here you are at 19, and you got Brock Purdy at 65%. You know what's funny? Is Russell has started more games and still has yet to pass 275 passing attempts. But he does have 64.9%.
Oh, by the way,
would you rather have a high completion percentage or a lot of attempts?
I would rather have the combination of both. The completion percentage actually means more because that means they're not making bad decisions.
I would rather have a healthy quarterback.
I'd rather have the high completion percentage.
So what happened 7 years and 341 days ago?
Wait, was that the game Blake Bortles beat Big Ben in the AFC division round?
No, that was the last time the Steelers had a playoff win.
Yeah, against Alex Smith.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, all right?
Against Alex Smith.
So where do you think Justin Herbert lies at 430 attempts? What's his completion percentage?
64.3.
Close.
I was going to say 61.
64.6. Bo Nix at 507 attempts is at 64.
I was off by that much. Damn it.
Next up on that list, at 24, you finally get the Josh Allen at 456 attempts at 63.8%. The next one down is Will Levis. Will Levis is on this list.
Dude,
Will Levis cracked that list.
Dude, Mason Rudolph got to be entering that list somehow.
Mason Rudolph only has 188 attempts. He's at 60.
Right, but he's only played, 4 games?
Right, he's played 4 games.
And he has 180. So wait a minute. Mason Rudolph's played 4 games, has 180 attempts, versus Russell Wilson, who's played all but 4 games and has only 275 attempts. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph has 188 attempts.
No, Dylan, you asked earlier how far the Eagles can go. with Jalen Hurts now that Saquon Barkley's been kind of the focal point of their offense. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Or how much they need to rely on him?
Yeah.
So
Well, here's the thing. That's a darn good question because now that Saquon has been kind of the focal point of their offense, they're obviously going to be playing tougher competition in the playoffs. I guess it all depends. I think it's all contingent on the health of both guys. Obviously, if one guy goes down, the other's still healthy. You're going to rely on him more than the other. The Eagles, though, Dylan, the Eagles, though, will still need to find a way to be a diverse offense because, they can hand the ball off to Saquon 35, 40 times a game in the postseason, but eventually the D-lines are going to stack up on him and they're going to find a way to pin him down. So I still think Jalen, let me just say this. Jalen doesn't need to be Jalen Hurts of last season or 2022. He doesn't need to be running outside the pocket 25, 30 times a game trying to run the ball on his own. If they can find a steady balance between using different packages, emptying the backfield more, featuring Jalen in some option plays, maybe, yeah. But with Saquon there, it is an extra added insurance policy that they don't need to rely on Jalen as much. So, but again, a lot of that depends on who they play, health, yada, yada, so on and so forth.
Jeremy, is this a battle inside your group with this gun guy and Borowski?
Broski comes in and trolls us all the time and how he says, "Oh, you guys won't beat us in Chicago. You won't do this. You won't do that," all the time. So Broski Bear's a Bear fan, evidently, and he trolls in a lot of Lions chat. So the guys always gang up. But anyways,
Gotcha.
guess who's tied in completion percentage with Mr. Will Levis? With more attempts at 355.
Michael Penix
Matthew
Jr.
Stafford.
No, Matthew
No,
Stafford's
Matthew
ahead of
Stafford
him.
was mentioned already. Gotta be someone
Spencer
that has
Rattler.
It's a Rattler.
No.
Kirk
Spencer,
Cousins.
Spencer Rattler is probably
Kirk
around
Cousins.
30%.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
No. Trevor
Daniel
Lawrence,
Jones.
we haven't even seen him yet either. It's
Oh.
Jordan Love. It's Jordan Love.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Jordan Sunday kind of love.
The next one that's thrown that many and is close in the percentage with 341 passes is Daniel Jones.
Breaking
who's
news.
Still ahead.
I had to show that, James.
Yeah, it's 21-0 at halftime. I mean, CJ Stroud, it has less of a completion percentage than Daniel Jones.
Oh gosh, did you guys see?
Should we talk about this? Tank
No,
Dell
no,
goes
no.
down, so they get the waiver of Deontay Johnson.
Take the farmer in the Dow.
Oh, so they get Deontay Dropson. Yeah, good job.
Is he gonna play? Is he gonna be different?
Is he going to
I
play?
started-
He'll play. Is he going to catch more than a cold? Probably not.
I said this with Rab.
Offense.
I said this with Rab the other night. I said Deontay Johnson played for the Steelers first. Could have his Yinzer came out when he went to Baltimore. I was like, I'm not playing for this fucking team. I played for Pittsburgh. I can't stand this team. Could have that happened? Does anyone feel that like just a total Yinzer?
J.I., it's been proven that Deontay Johnson has a higher drop rate than one Eric Ebron that used to play for the Detroit Lions.
Oh gosh.
The only wide receiver with a higher drop rate than Deontay Johnson currently playing is Kadarius Stonehands Drabroni.
So last year, you all know I called him Deontay Dropson. I mean, come on, you give the guy that much money and he gets 1 2-point conversion, and that's the only time he caught the ball in the end zone. That's ridiculous. But then again, he did have Kenny Pickett thrown to him, so I don't know how mad I can be.
Hey, Jeremy, you might not know this, but the other three do. What prediction did I make before the start of the year?
Which one?
The
You
49ers wouldn't make the playoffs.
Well, what team was eliminated from the playoffs yesterday?
The Cowboys.
Dylan, are you getting ready for a flight?
No.
I don't know what that's about.
The way he's
I'm
looking,
not
he looks.
flying. I'm not
he's like-
flying, but my bear is flying. But my bear will be flying to Pittsburgh before long.
Yeah, we had a guy that's a Bears podcaster on one of the shows through the network that I go live into. He actually said, if Caleb Williams is 50% of the hype that he was given coming into the season with the weapons here and everything else, there's no way the Bears win less than 10 games.
I would never say the Bears would win 10 games with Caleb Williams. I said
thinking-
maybe 4, and right now I'm on great pace.
I was
So
thinking
I
7.
come back on that show was, hey, guess what? Caleb Williams is exactly 50% of the hype. And how many wins do you have? And he goes, shut up.
The Niners, Cards eliminated. The Cowboys were eliminated yesterday.
By the way,
Um,
what the heck is going on with Kyler Murray? Is Kyler Murray spending too much time with Black Ops 6?
Yes.
I mean, he's lost to Geno Smith twice and Bryce
Who's Captain
Young.
Clickbait? Jeremy, is this a guy on the inside or?
No, that's a guy that's in another chat group.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
he got blocked from there. Guess where Trevor Lawrence sits on this list with 284
Way down there.
attempts? 60.6%. So with fewer attempts than Daniel Jones, he has a 3.4% less completion percentage.
That's crazy.
3.4 less than Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence is Daniel Jones on a good roster.
Jay, people are picking on your
Oh.
background, boss.
Oh,
You know what? I'm gonna change my background.
And as bad as Bryce Young started out, he has more attempts and almost the same completion percentage, and he's been doing really well lately. He's got raised his completion percentage from 55 to 60.2.
Yeah.
Buddy Conquito.
Oh,
So
Jay, I didn't even show you yet.
Oh, look, he put it up in celebration of the Bears giving the Lions a Christmas gift. It's Santa Care Bear. This one's for Buddy Conquito.
I can make your
Hey.
hands clap. I can make your hands clap. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, nice. MVP
And by the
guy.
way, Adam, haven't the last 2 World Series MVPs for the Dodgers been wearing number 5?
Oh,
Because Corey Seager and Freddie Freeman are awesome.
I do have that
Yep.
completion percentage for Spencer Rattler. It was 57.5.
So, Jason, who else are the Dodgers going to get? I think one Tanner Scott might be there before long.
Tanner Scott will probably be there eventually. It sounds to me like Teoscar Hernandez is bye-bye. When I last read, apparently they have not been in contact with Teoscar in nearly a week. And the longer they go without signing Teoscar Hernandez means the greater chance they stand of him not coming back. Me personally, I think the Dodgers are doing this winter right now what they did with Shohei last winter. They're dropping all their eggs in the basket to get Roki Sasaki, which it's a lot tougher to gauge this winter because unlike last winter when it was – why are you laughing, Adam?
Oh, J.I. in there saying a Dodger and a Packer fan. What are the odds?
Yeah. What are the
He
odds?
lives in LA.
Shit in
He
one-
lives in LA.
Yeah. Shit in one hand, wish in the other. See which one fills first.
Hey,
Okay.
J.I.,
So
it's
anyway,
kind of like J.I., it's kind of like you're an Orioles fan and a Lions fan, and you live in Georgia.
actually, I'm LA sports everything except for football. Here's the reason why. I was never a Raiders fan when they were in LA because I deplored Al Davis. And even though I was an Eric Dickerson fan as a kid, I never latched on to the Rams because I thought Jim Everett was the worst stinking fucking quarterback that played the game. He was a crybaby. If a defender put a fingernail on his jersey, he cried and bickered about it. So that's why I didn't become a Raiders fan. That's why I didn't become a Rams fan when they were both in LA the first time around. I latched on to the Packers because, well, I latched on to Brett Favre. And even though Dan Marino is my all-time favorite football player, again, when I saw Favre slinging 60, 70 passes a game, making it look routine, kind of hard not to latch onto him. So that's why I'm a Packers fan and a Dodgers fan. So I hope that that clears everything up.
And by the way, speaking of Falls, I think this week is the 21st anniversary of his 4-touchdown performance after his father died.
Yep, one of the greatest performances ever, and that was on, I think, Monday Night Football, if I'm not too much
Monday
mistaken.
Night Football. I was just going to say Monday Night.
Yep. You know,
I have
Dylan, it's funny you mentioned Brett Favre because I just finished watching the ESPN 30 for 30, the New York Sack Exchange, and which is a good documentary. I highly recommend it for any sports fan. And there's a scene which has already kind of gone viral. It went viral before the documentary came out about how Mark Gastineau approached Brett at a memorabilia show in Chicago, and Brett went up to him, extended his hand to shake his hand and say, "Hey man, how you doing, buddy?" And Gastineau literally went up to him and said, "I want my fucking sack back. I want my sack back." And Favre, the look on his face was just like somebody had just shit on his Super Bowl trophy. I mean, literally, Gastineau was ready in all of his elderly glory there to drop kick Brett Favre and sack him for old time's sake.
Right.
And literally, Brett thought at first he was joking, but Gastineau said, "No, I want my fucking sack back. You took a dive. I want my fucking sack back." And then after that, you hear Brett's people say, "Brett, we got to get back to the autographs." And Brett did not say a word after Gastineau approached him. I was just like, oh, Brett, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, geez.
And by the way, guys, in terms of the bear, I actually have that bear here. It's a music bear. You put his hands together and he plays a song.
That's cute.
I won't play it here because then I'll get banned on YouTube. But
Okay, so who are your top 5 in yardage for receivers right now?
Gotta be Jamar Chase, number 1.
He is number 1.
JJ,
Is number 2.
CD,
Number 3.
I'm on Rock.
Number 4. He's naming them off in order. Are you looking at a Google list?
No, I'm just looking at the bear.
Well,
let me see if I can
Jay, you
get
got a fan and a Bears fan, all right? I just want to let you know.
Hey, I'm a nice guy.
Number 5.
Listen.
Jason
will shock you. Who?
Jason
who?
Yes.
Oh, JSN? Is that what you said? Yeah, that is number 5. Who is number 6? This is the shocking one.
BT.
What BT?
My BT in Jacksonville.
You're absolutely right. Brian Thomas Jr. is 6th in the league with yards. 1,088 with 9 touchdowns. That's a hell of a rookie season.
If only we could win a freaking game or 2 or 3 or 12. Not give up
a little
52.
past being able to win 12 there, buddy. Just work on getting to the 4th one.
Gosh. We couldn't even beat the Raiders. Now the Raiders won't get Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, they'll get Shedeur Sanders.
No, they won't.
I guarantee you the Giants want Cam Ward.
I think New York's going to have to take Shedeur
Jay-
Sanders.
Jamie, you got a question.
Oh,
No, I'm a Bills fan, buddy. That's why I went to the Bills game yesterday.
So
They
here's the
played
other
the Patriots. I can't stand the Patriots. I couldn't stand them when Brady was quarterback. And I mean, I like Drake May, but I don't really like the Patriots. I'm a diehard Bills fan since 2004.
So here's a funny one. Guess who follows Brian Thomas Jr.? And you'd never guess that he has this many yards because he's had, I think he's on his 4th quarterback this year. Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry freaking Judy.
He has 1,072 yards. And right behind him, who's about to break the reception record for tight ends, is Brock Bowers. He has more yards but less touchdowns than the next guy, which is A.J. Brown.
You know, when you look at the bowl of mosh that the Las Vegas Raiders are, I think that Brock Bowers has over 1,000 yards receiving based on who was throwing him the football this year. That's fucking amazing. That's
it is impressive.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Are you kidding me?
And he has the same amount of receptions as Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Wow. Brock Bowers, there's your rookie of the year.
101. I think Brian Thomas, who has way more yards and more touchdowns, might make a fight.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to be rookie of the year.
I think Bo Nix will be. I think Bo Nix should be rookie of the year.
I think it's coming down.
Jaden Daniels should be rookie of the year.
No ifs, ands, or buts, huh?
I think you're all wrong.
I don't have much question about this one.
What?
I think
you think
you're
it's
all
BT?
wrong.
You think it's BT?
No, I think it's Bo Nix.
They said you didn't listen to that conversation at all because they said it's coming down to Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix to start with.
We know every award's a quarterback award. Now, I mean, the MVP is a race between two quarterbacks. The offensive rookie of the year is a race between two quarterbacks. Generally, quarterbacks win Super Bowl MVP unless Cooper Kupp catches 27 passes.
Julian Edelman won Super Bowl.
Because that was maybe the worst Super Bowl we've seen in 40 years.
Yeah.
Come on. Troy Brown won Super Bowl MVP too.
So did Trent Dilfer.
No, he didn't.
Fresno State
Super Bowl MVP.
Yep, from Fresno State. That's right. Bulldog born, Bulldog bred. Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer won MVP with the Ravens, right?
No, he didn't. Ray Lewis won MVP.
Did he win the MVP that year?
I promise you, Ray Lewis won Super Bowl 35 MVP.
Larry Brown of the Dallas Cowboys won Super Bowl MVP. You ask, who was Larry Brown? He was a cornerback.
Neil O'Donnell's favorite receiver, baby.
That's right.
Favorite receiver twice in the same game. Oh, man.
Twice in the same game and once down in the end zone, baby.
Jason, if you ever ask that and there's a Steeler fan on here and they don't know it, then that means they're not a good Steeler fan.
I mean,
and that's why I knew you would know that, Adam.
Just like Dexter Jackson when he won it with Tampa.
Right? Exactly.
2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. Those were gifts too.
I mean, Malcolm Smith was Super Bowl MVP for the Legion of Boom.
It should have been MVP when they lost to New England.
Well, here's a good trivia question for you guys. Jeremy, you might know this. Who are the last two co-Super Bowl MVPs? And I'll give you a hint. They both played for the Dallas Cowboys.
God, what's that?
Aikman and Emmett.
One was Randy White.
You got one of them right. Who's the other one?
Randy White
and Harvey Martin. Dallas Cowboys, 1973. I think they were co-Super Bowl MVPs. Oh, no, not 73 because the Dolphins played in 73.
Staubach was the MVP of Super Bowl 6.
Yep.
I think.
Hey, Broski Bear. Guess what? The Super Bowl was never the Super Bowl till Hank Stram mispronounced the name.
It was the AFL-NFL World Championship.
Right. And if you want to go by World Championships, the Lions have 4. So
even the Browns.
Actually, the Super Bowl was because of the owner Lamar Hunt and his toy and his son were playing with Super Bowl, so he called it the Super Bowl because of that. It was because of the Hunts.
Right. He was literally talking about his kid, and then somebody asked a question while he was talking about his kid, and they heard his answer as the Super Bowl because he has a southern drawl.
So quickly, talk about the college football playoff. I mean, we know the games were absolute dog poop. all 4 home teams won by double digits. We know the seedings absolute horse dookie. The fact that Oregon's playing Ohio State when it should play Boise State or Arizona State, but that's a story for another day.
All those games were just like, oh my god, are you kidding me? All the home teams won. I was happy Notre Dame won.
Yeah,
Indiana-
Jeremy, did you break your TV by chance
No,
when
not at all.
Notre Dame when Notre Dame won?
Greg McElroy said it in an era where you don't see as many old school blue collar hitting teams. Notre Dame's that team. Greg
And you know
McElroy.
what? I think Notre Dame's going to beat Georgia and New Orleans.
Well, yeah, Carson Beck might be out.
So
That might be the
hey,
hardest hitting.
Broski, how long will it be before the Bears win another Super Bowl? That's the better question.
They're not going to win
You know
one
what?
with Caleb Williams. I can
I'll
tell you
admit,
that much.
Jeremy, how long will it be until the Jaguars win a Super Bowl? Probably never.
Never say never.
Hey guys,
I
I'm turning
will
this over to
never
Venus, but I
say
gotta get out of here.
never.
You never say never.
No. Okay.
Never
Yeah,
doesn't
that
exist.
Okay, Beck
that was kind of
Beck did just have surgery apparently, according to JL.
Yep.
Jay, go ahead, man. Shout out where we can get you. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
Yeah, sorry I have to jet out here early, guys, but I do have to take off. Got some family stuff going on right now. If you guys want to, hey, Broski Bear, hit me up on X, man. You can find me right there. Dodger Jason, you can drop all the F-bombs and call me stupid as much as you want to your heart's desire. That's where you can find me. Aside from that, it's been fun and an honor talking sports with all you guys again. I really enjoy it. Most importantly, it's sports. It's not life. Let's not take it seriously. Let's all have a very Merry Christmas, a safe and happy holiday season. One of the things I'm thankful for is that I get a chance to talk. One of the things I love most on here with guys like you. So I appreciate the forum, the platform. I love all you guys. Stay safe. Have a happy holiday season. And with that, I'm out. Peace out, guys. God bless.
All right, Jay. Happy Merry Christmas, and hopefully we talk before the end of the year.
We will. I guarantee it. Talk to you guys later. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Merry
All right,
Christmas.
Jay. And then there were 4.
The final 4.
Do any of your guys want to join the chat, Germ?
Say what?
Do any of your guys want to enjoy the chat with us and come on?
I don't know if they do or not. If they do, I'll send them a link. I got a couple.
Oh, by the way, it's now 24-0 Packers midway
Yeah,
through
so
the
they
third
kicked
quarter.
a field goal.
That means McNannis made a fucking field goal. Son of a bitch.
I guess
I'm about
I
to.
just need the Saints to score because and not throw any more picks or anything.
I am probably giving this back tonight.
Yeah, my best
Actually,
friend.
they didn't call. They renamed it, but it wasn't called the Super Bowl until 3 years later when they named the Lombardi Trophy in 1970.
And that was the first year of the merger in 1970.
By the way, how about Super Bowl 4 would have been Vikings Chiefs? Wow.
Yeah, but the first like I said, the first Super Bowl was pre the merger. Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, there hasn't been a cat team that's won a Super Bowl because the Panthers and Bengals both have lost both of their Super Bowl appearances. Well, all their Super Bowl appearances, excuse me.
Well, the first Super Bowl that Minnesota was in was not Fran Tarkenton. He was in the next 3.
Would it have been Joe Kapp?
Yeah, Joe Kapp.
Joe Kapp was the quarterback in that one.
From California. Didn't he play at California? Yeah, and the Chiefs just ate up the Vikings.
Keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
Black and white doesn't count.
We were both reading that at the same time, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was funny. Pink. I don't drink Coke, so send Mountain Dew.
I mean, who would think that the last Monday night game of the regular season would be meaningless for the Niners? I would not have thought that, though.
You did predict the Niners would miss the playoffs. So.
I didn't think they'd be out of the playoffs this early.
I actually said it on my preseason show. Somebody asked me, what are your bold predictions for this year? And I said the Cowboys and the 49ers both missed the playoff.
I'll tell you my number 1 and 2 bold predictions. Two was the Commanders would win the NFC East, and one was San Francisco would miss the playoffs entirely.
Entirely.
And I
They're not
think
even
3 would have
fucking-
been the Rams play on Championship Sunday. I'm not liking that with a team with all the NFC North teams in Philadelphia.
Right.
I'm fearful the Rams end up playing the Packers in the first round. Yeah, that's not
Right.
good.
Right now,
So
Philly-
if the Steelers lose on Wednesday and then the Ravens win on Wednesday, I think we fall to what, a 5th seed?
Yeah, because you would have the tiebreaker of the Chargers and Broncos. Then you may end up in Houston, which might actually not be a bad idea with all the Texan injury.
Deontay revenge game, baby.
Deontay's definitely getting a go route. It's just whether he catches it.
Well, Gun Guy, the 22 on IR is a misnomer. I've
My
already
son,
refuted this
Steelers
fact
versus refs.
because I see he goes, Lions could be the first team to win a Super Bowl with 22 on IR. We didn't have 22 on IR when they announced it because they had David Montgomery on there. Aw.
My son's
Yeah,
on
Jeremy.
the channel, so I wanted him to see the dog.
Jeremy, will Alex Anzalone be back before the playoffs?
He's supposed to be back next week against Minnesota. This week, Ennis Rakestraw is coming off the IR as well as Khalif Raymond. So that's 2. Last week, we took Ifeatu Melifonwu and Jalen Reeves-Maybin off of there. So that's 4. That gets you down to 18. David Montgomery was never on it. That gets you to 17. And they had Emmanuel Mosley is still on the IR, and he's been off the IR since Thanksgiving. So now you're down to 14.
Is there a chance Hutchinson's back for Championship Sunday, or is that?
According to what the medical reports are, he could be back by as early as the championship round, conference championship.
Boy, you know what? I mean, from a neutral standpoint, I wouldn't mind Lions Bills in New Orleans.
Oh, neither would I.
Neither would him.
I know. Jamie's getting into something. That's what I said. The Stumble Rooski. That was that. As soon as I watched that play, and I could see when I heard everybody saying ball, 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 and I looked at the screen and I saw it was Lions players and not Chicago players, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, Dan Miller even thought that Goff fumbled the ball. He goes, wait, no, he's setting up.
I didn't see this play. I guess I need to see it.
It's Oscar worthy. The acting job that was done.
What'd they do? Pull Little Giants?
No, it was better than that. Jordan Love, when they played the Bears last
You were
time,
saying like he fumbled it and then threw it deep.
he
wide
fumbled
open
the
crowd.
ball. It bounced off the ground. He picked it up. He turned around and he threw it to Tucker Kraft for a big first down. The Lions did it at the 22-yard line, and it went so well it went straight to Sam Laporta for a touchdown. He goes, takes the hike, tries to hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, pulls it back to where no one can see it but people behind him, right in front of his thigh. Gibbs falls. Goff acts like he's stumbling, and the Lions players on the sideline start screaming, ball, 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 like it's a fumble. Everybody turned towards the line instead of watching what was going on behind him. Sam Laporta gets 5 yards of separation.
Okay, this tweet, true. This comment, James.
The acting was better than anything Hollywood has put out in years.
Yeah.
Comment of the night.
That's a good one.
And he
Yeah,
just didn't
so I
have
need to
Laporta
look this
over the
play
top
up.
of the end. It was at the beginning of the third quarter, our first drive. That's how we ended it. And the last time we scored, too. Because all we did after that was we played time of possession ball.
Did you see the time of possession in that, was it the Bills Patriots game where it was like 10-19 to 19 seconds at one point?
Wow.
I think it was the Bills and Patriots game. Was that the third quarter, Jam? Where the Bills just held the ball on forever?
I think that might
Yeah, I
have been
think
the
it was.
Eagle
Yeah, it
game.
was.
Was that the Eagles game?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy, you get good interaction in your group. I love it.
Yeah, they come in a lot. Yeah. I love my guys. They watch me a lot. They love talking football. Jim Jackson, great to see you tonight.
Yeah, this is open mic, guys. If any of you want to join, send Jeremy a hey, and he'll send you
I
the
got
link.
it.
Oh, by the way, the Packers just intercepted Spencer Rattler in the end zone.
Damn it. I wanted to have a 50-point spanking of the guy I was against to get to the championship round. He has the Packers defense.
Good. That means the defense is going back on. I have the defensive guy from the Saints.
All right.
Oh,
Don't
not
ask.
if they give up a touchdown, though.
And Christian Watson is hurt.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what
nothing
did
new. When isn't he?
He has a knee injury.
Well, the Packers don't exactly need him tonight. Oh,
If
yeah.
you don't mind, I'm going to, because it's just my guys in my chat, I put the link to StreamYard on my channel.
I see that.
Ta-da.
Guys, that is the
So if
link. That is the link to the show. If any of you want to jump in, feel free.
James Burgess is not allowed. He has admitted many times he watches naked from home, so no.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Put a fucking,
hey,
make sure you have a
Jeremy?
sweatshirt on. Make sure you have a sweatshirt on and the camera above your face. All right.
Right, there you
Jeremy,
Yeah.
Jeremy, tell James Gold you have to put on a robe. Put on like a purple robe.
No, not purple. It has to be Honolulu blue or black.
Who said Aaron Glenn's leaving?
Oh, and he says Aaron Glenn more than likely is leaving after this year.
Oh, now he's leaving?
Aaron Glenn, that's the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Where's he going to go?
He'll probably take the New Orleans
Oh.
job.
And just to let you know, James is in his robe tonight, all right? He's got his bubble.
Nope,
He's got his
there's
bubble
the link.
pipe.
If you guys want to click on it and hop on in, Adam will
We
add
are
you here shortly.
giving you a chance.
A thong technically is clothing. That is also known as a banana hammock.
The thong song.
A holster for the twig and berries.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I thought the college football playoff games would have more viewers. The viewers came out. How many people do you think watched the
I'm gonna guess
the Ohio State
one.
game? What do you
I'm
think the
gonna guess-
number was?
Nielsen rating wise,
What do you think the?
I
How
think
many-
next week's going to be a lot higher because we actually have like real bowl names next week where people are like, oh wait, Sugar Bowl, wait, Rose Bowl, wait, Peach Bowl's coming up. I need to watch this. They get a little more excited whenever there's actually a bowl game.
right?
Plus, they're not competing against the NFL.
The cookies went over great. Everybody enjoyed them a lot. Thank you, Petty. And his wife came and picked up the jersey that he ordered for me because I get the custom jerseys like I told you about.
What'd you get?
He got a Goff and he's got a Calvin Johnson Jr. on back order.
I told you the only jersey I want is a Barry Sanders.
Yeah, but you want it signed. That's different.
What?
No. But like this is Mel Farr Jr., Mel Farr's kid that I do a show with on the South Florida Tribune. J.I. looked up his practice squad number from when he played for the Lions, and I had a jersey made up for him.
Dick LeBeau.
Dick
Wow.
LeBeau was great.
Dick
Or,
LeBeau was,
Danny
Dick LeBeau
Smith.
was a Hall of Fame DB back in the 60s.
Right.
How about Dick LeBeau and Dick Night Train Lane?
This
How
is
about your
for
special teams coordinator, Adam? Danny Smith. He was with the Bills back in the day, the gum chewer.
Jim Jackson. This is not just Lions fans. This is people that are football fans in general. We talk college and pro. And Brett DeWitt, I kind of agree with you. After watching the first round of the college football playoffs, I wouldn't mind it dropping back down to 8 teams.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
Actually, they're already talking about in
Making it
2026 expanding it to 14. Did you hear that?
I heard 14 or 16 is what they're talking about. They're doing one or the other, which means that's going to add either they're going to add more bye weeks or they're going to take some away or whatever. I think it should be done as an actual true bracket.
Jay, you got
Hey.
2 out of the 3 right.
Yeah, Jay, you got 2 out of 3, buddy. Dylan is your off. We'll give you another chance. He's in the state of Florida, so you got 3 teams to pick from.
Let's put it this way: sunshine.
I'll give you a hint, Jay. We might have the cutest cheerleaders in the NFL.
Oh, you must be talking about the Lions.
And we've got a pool at our stadium.
Miami has a pool.
No, you're thinking of the Mullins Stadium.
The Marlins don't have a poll.
You're close, Jay.
No, a pool.
Right. I thought only the Diamondbacks
You're
have
in
a poll. I've been
Northern
to Bar-
Yeah,
They're in
I've been
Diamond.
to-
You
I've been to the
definitely
Marlins
have not
Stadium.
been
There
to
was
the
no
Cleveland
They're in one of
Dome.
the Jay, they're in one of the biggest cities in Florida, and it's Northern Florida. There you go. You got it.
Oh, yes, Jacksonville. There it is, Jay.
If you would have put London, I would have been okay with that.
Right. I was just saying that I was just saying if he didn't get it after those hints, I was gonna say the team most likely voted to go to London.
It's like
He goes, I didn't know Jacksonville had fans. Oh, there's a slam dunk.
it's like our buddy Joe Dalio. He says if he would take Santa Clara for the San Francisco 49ers, and I would say you could put Inglewood for the LA Rams.
Oh
Yep.
wait, then you can put an Orchard Park for the
Ace
Bills.
Ventura, Patty. Ace Ventura, baby. Snowflake got stolen.
Yep. Finkel
either-
is Einhorn.
Ace, either she's got a bad case of hemorrhoids or there's something back there.
Right. Oh.
Oh man.
You guys remember this other B movie that was a classic back in the day with John Leguizamo as the main star called The Pest?
The what?
It's called The Pest. T-H-E, Pest. P-E-S-T. It has John Leguizamo in it. It is one of those B cult classic comedies, and it's hilarious. You got to watch it sometime.
I liked Mad TV too.
Oh, he was Mad TV, and then there was what was his show called? The House of something.
Jamie, I gotta know what you're thinking about your Yankees off season so far.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I like it. Now they're talking about they're talking about getting Pete Alonso now, and now I heard this is way in left field. They're talking about possibly trading for Vlad Guerrero Jr., but it would be giving up some of their some of their prospects, so I wouldn't do that.
What?
And I guess as far as Detroit Tigers are concerned, the talks between Alex Bregman and the Tigers is getting deep. We might be getting Alex Bregman for third base.
Wait a minute, Jamie. Why would you go after Pete Alonso? You just got Goldschmidt. You don't need another first baseman.
Yes, they do.
Goldschmidt?
Paul
He's a
Goldschmidt
glorified
went-
DH at this point. He's so old that just to try
Yeah,
and
but
catch
he's
the
got
ball,
4
he might
gold
break a
gloves.
wrist.
You know what?
He's got like 4 gold gloves.
I think I'd rather have Goldschmidt than Pete Alonso almost next to you.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chile.
Fragile.
Chile.
It's Italian.
Must-
No,
must
honey,
be
I
What's
Italian.
funny? What's funny is that's the leg lamp, right?
That's the leg lamp.
From
Yes.
Christmas Story. I have
Yeah.
the Christmas Story leg lamp, and it shows the kid with the glasses looking at it, and it says
Oswell's
every
leg.
Lion-
Steeler fans.
No, this is all Lions fans looking at the kicking leg of Jake Bates.
Oh, everyone did in Pittsburgh, obviously. Boswell's leg, and then it had all like Ralphie as all Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah, Ralphie, that's his name. Yep. Okay. Did you guys watch part 2 of the Christmas Story? No, I have not.
What the hell is part 2? The one where they
I never even heard
cut off the duck's head and they sing fa ra 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 ra.
Rah, 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 rah. There's a season to be sorry.
Fa ra 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 ra.
It's where he's older. No, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I have not seen that one either, Jay. I guess
Eddie,
I guess I'm behind the times, as they would say.
you'll put your eye out, kid.
You shoot your eye out, kid.
They did another one too last year. They had the Red Ryder BB gun, and they said, "Oh, you'll shoot your eye out, kid."
Yeah.
These are grunt style, by the way. It's one of my favorite clothing brands. If you watch the show long enough, you'll see. I think there's 6, maybe 10 shirts on that rack behind me.
Oh, fudge. Except I didn't say fudge. I said the mother of all dirty words, the meatest of the meat, the whatever of the whatever.
Yeah.
Did you say,
my
the
son-
American-
My son looked like Ralphie the whole year whenever he was growing up as a young kid.
Oh God.
Remember to drink your Ovaltine, kids.
So what are you guys doing for Christmas?
I'm watching football.
You got
Yeah, I don't-
Netflix? It's going to be on Netflix.
Oh, Red One on Prime was actually good. I did watch that. The one with the
But
Rock.
what I'm doing for Christmas tomorrow, I'm going to my aunts and uncles on my dad's side of the family. They're going to do a Christmas Eve party starting at 3, and then on Christmas Day we're going to be at home and cook steaks on the grill and have shrimp and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to my sister's on Christmas Day. I don't know if you guys can see it, but oh wait, wrong way. You see?
Oh,
you
how's
see-
your daughter feeling, by the way, Dylan? I heard you had to.
No, that was Joe.
Are.
Joe's kid was in the hospital. I don't have any kids.
Oh, it was Joe?
Yeah, wasn't this kid have kidney stones or something?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was. I'm sorry, Dylan. I didn't know it was Joe. My bad.
I
was
don't
confused
even have
too.
a girlfriend.
I shared the
or-
screen so you can at least
Guess
I
what?
shared a
You'll
screen
get
for
your
you there,
chance.
Jay.
to watch.
Adam.
what's that?
I shared a screen for you to look at. It shows the play that they were all talking about.
Hey, Jamie Klink, come in.
Hey,
Evening,
James.
gentlemen.
Good
We have a
evening,
guest.
Mr. Burgess.
What's up?
what
What's
do you think of that?
up?
See the play where it looks like he's falling
hey
and
guys,
stuff like
I'm
that?
gonna bail out. Merry Christmas to you all. Good luck to you, Lions, Bills, and Steelers.
Oh,
All right, Dill. Okay,
You
is there a
see
way to
what I-
watch it or no?
No, it's just the picture. I just wanted to show you the picture of how good he acted it out. See how the ball's in front of his thigh? While he's doing this, the whole sideline screaming, ball, ball, ball,
Dylan.
making Chicago think it was a fumble.
Nice.
And then your
Nice.
comment, James, you said the acting was better than anything Hollywood's put out. That was funny.
Yeah.
it was.
James, it's fine.
James, how are you, man?
Good to see a face with the name.
Oh, hang on. Got to go get the puppy.
Okay.
All right, we'll be here. Look at him in a
Excellent. Be
robe.
right back.
He's in a robe, everything. He's so relaxed. So Jamie, you're cooking out on the grill tomorrow or Sunday. You doing
Wednesday.
ribeye or you just doing like
Wednesday we're cooking on the grill.
He is wearing a
Um,
robe, yes. Corey Patterson says Jared definitely sold that thing. When
Christmas
Corey
Day,
or
we're
my
cooking on the
dad
grill.
pops on, I have a certain song I play for them when they pop in. Do you mind if I do that, Adam?
no, go ahead.
It's just a little flip.
It's
I
better
wish it
than
was longer. I
I-
wish it was longer.
I think that was better than dubstep. Remember when that was popular? Dubstep.
Oh yeah.
This is
Oh,
Puppy.
look at the pupper. Hi, puppy.
Jesus. My neighbor's got one of those.
What breed?
I don't know what they're called, but I know it looks just like that.
She's a mini. This one's a mini Labradoodle.
My neighbor has a full bred Labrador. Anyway, James, how are you, man? Merry
Excellent.
Christmas.
Nice to meet you
Merry-
guys.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you, James.
Face to go with the inane chat that I threw out there. Excellent.
Oh yeah. And it's finally putting a face to your name. This is the first time you've hopped on any of them. And J.I. says, your robe opened up, haha.
A literal wardrobe malfunction.
And Corey Patterson says I dance every time I play when I play the music. Corey. Oh, you know, this is a great time of year. I mean, 13 wins for the first time in franchise history. And also, we've scored 486 offensive points this year for the first time in franchise
That's
history.
amazing. So where do obviously we know the Steelers don't rank very high on that list, but the Bills got to be. The Bills missed a what? What did your team just miss, Jamie? Because you didn't score 30 points. Would that have been 9 times in a row? You scored 9 games in a row. You guys scored 30 plus points.
Yeah, I
And
was
that
going to
streak-
write an article on it, but that didn't happen. So,
And
And
that streak got snapped.
yeah.
Jim Jackson says even the wife gets into that music. And Gun Guy says it's history in the making. For Lions, it is. We've never been this good in back-to-back seasons in our history. Even going back to when we were winning championships.
Dude,
far-
Campbell's really turned this team around for you guys.
Heading into the 2021 season, we were hands down, no arguments, no questions asked, the worst franchise in the league and had been forever. And that was 3 years and 4 months ago.
They're requesting the song again. Oh,
All right,
I get
Jerm,
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give it's the holiday season. Give it to him.
Why do I
Oh,
see, why do
You
I
know
see Ron Jeremy's face every time that happens?
Because it reminds me of bad 70s porn music.
Ron Jeremy, the 10-second countdown. Jesus Christ.
That's why it's only 10 seconds long.
If you don't know what that means, guys, I recommend not looking it
Yeah,
up.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Save yourselves.
I will give the Bears credit on one thing. Keenan Allen was eating Terrion Arnold for lunch, but you're talking about what, a 9-year vet versus a rookie at the position?
Oh, Keenan Allen's got to have. He's got to be double digits by now. Yes,
He's either 9 or 10 years into the league. Yeah.
and he. I mean, under the when you look in the dictionary under crafty veteran, there's a picture of him there.
Exactly.
Well, Jim
But
Jim Jackson just totally threw himself under the bus.
She's laughing her ass off as I am anymore, and I wouldn't last, he says. It's the final countdown.
Oh my God! What kind of
I do have a
podcast-
question for Jamie. I did not see the Bills game at all this weekend. What happened? I mean, I expected absolute, complete, and total destruction.
Yeah, me too for my fantasy
Yeah.
team.
I went, but It had trap game, I think, written all over, coming off, like I said, coming off the emotional win against Detroit. And they couldn't run. I saw the game. They couldn't run their regular defense because half their secondary was out. So they had to rely more on generating pressure on Drake May with the front four and the linebackers. They couldn't really drop their DBs back into coverage like they usually do.
And division games are division games.
So Christian Watson's hurt, and we've all heard all off season, and I'm going to single out some Packer fans here, that Christian Watson was a better version of what Jameson Williams was supposed to be.
Not yet, and probably never.
I'm just saying, Jamo missed 2 games, and he has 890 yards and 6.
I kind of had a good feeling Jameson Williams was going to turn out to be a good NFL receiver because he was the next line of the in the production line of Alabama receivers and
the receivers actually do turn out pretty well in the NFL. They never get to that upper echelon level, though. Like Devonta Smith, who gorilla glue hamstrings Watson. I doubt it. I know. I just wanted to point that out because even at 890 yards, he still has more yards than every receiver for Green Bay.
I like the Lions are just a high scoring team. They're just a machine. I mean, what is their field goal percentage in the red zone? Like 20%, and all the other time it's touchdown.
Pretty much.
Yeah. 20% of the time we get a touchdown. We turned the ball over in the red zone 2 times, and everything else has been touchdowns. We are at the highest red zone percentage for touchdowns in the NFL at 68.3%.
And a few shorties from Bates. Yep.
I mean, you guys are just a high scoring machine that.
I still can't believe they let Bates try it, and he had the distance on that 65-yard field goal.
Yeah, I don't have a good gauge on how far wide it was. It only looked like it was maybe a foot.
It looks like they missed it by 2 footballs width of the goalpost, in my opinion.
And that's Windy City, Soldier Field. I don't know if you guys have ever been to games there. I've went to about.
It's a swirling wind, so you never know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I've been to about 7 or 8, and since they put the spaceship on top of it, Soldier Field used to be really cool back before they put the whatever on top of it. But I mean, it gets those swirling winds are nasty coming in off the lake. And
look at even Acrisure Stadium. I mean, look at the field goal percentage now. It's a lot higher than it's ever been because they put up that extra 30,000. 40,000 seats in the open end zone.
Soccer style kicking out too, which makes it easier for distance.
No. I was just saying, like they blocked the wind section because it's coming off the river. I mean, obviously Chris Boswell knows how to kick in there, but I mean, even opposing kickers, except for Justin Tucker this year, have had all decent games.
Unadulterated Soldier Field was a bowl stadium, just like Lambeau, where all you had was one side with your sky boxes and the press boxes and stuff like that. But it was a bowl stadium. And it was really cool because it gave you that old-timey, it was bigger, but it was like going to a high school football game.
Yeah, it was old school. It was like going to an old school college game. If you were on the right side of the stadium, you'd get this great view of Lake Michigan. And if things worked out right and you were a Lions fan, when you left the game, you could go up onto the Museum of Science and Industry is right there because there's a whole museum, right. Soldier Field being a museum. So you could stand up there and watch the Bears, like, the Bear fans trailing out, all bummed out and everything. You felt like, you were Caesar watching the Gauls get rounded up.
Is it kind of like Canton?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. Single bowl.
Lambeau Field and Soldier Field, before they did the add-on, were the only bowl stadiums really left because everything had started to change. When they did the add-on, my thing was Star Trek just came out with a new movie. Then I said, "Ooh, look,
Yeah.
the USS Enterpoop landed on top of Soldier Field."
Yeah, it didn't match the architecture at all. You had like this classic Greco-Roman style because it really is a museum. They call it Soldier Field because there's a World War I museum on the ground floor, at the base of the stadium.
Right.
And so it actually is a museum as well. And then they put this crap on top of it. I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, who the hell did this?
So
Was that to control the winds a little bit or what?
It was just they needed more seats. I mean, literally the steps are like this so that they can just stack you on top of each other.
That's the way Heinz Field is.
Yeah.
Jamie, are they going to make the new Bill Stadium that steep too?
It's going to be less seats, but more corporate suites. And I think what they're trying to do with it is make it more like, I went to the Bill Stadium now is a older stadium, but the problem is the walkways are a cluster, and it's like you got people near you and everything. But so what I think they're doing is they're going to make this one more accessible, easier to navigate on it because the walkways are going to be less narrow.
Kind of like Yankee. It's kind of like Yankee 2, huh? Yankee 2 was horrible. Yankee Stadium, their walkways were
old
so.
Stadium, yeah.
See, and that's the one thing that was different because Jim Jackson brings it up, kind of like the Joe Louis Arena. When they built it, it was high, steep seats and steep steps. But the difference is they made the outer part so wide that you actually had a car concourse to walk around. You know what I'm saying? So that was the difference with the Joe, because a hockey rink, let's face it, is a lot smaller than a football field.
The Silverdome used to get so packed in the outer walkways, you'd have people having panic attacks when they sold out. I had season tickets for 15 years from Silverdome through.
I was just gonna. What was the Pontiac Silverdome like? It
was an above ground cave. It was an abomination. But that's how many people.
At the same time,
you could have been there to see Hogan slam Andre the Giant, right?
I was there for that. I was there for that.
I was there for that. I was at
that was what WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania 2?
3.
We were in stereo there, James.
I knew it was close.
Not a forgettable experience. It was summer. It was hot, and nobody left.
Right.
So James, you got to watch Barry Sanders run some football
many times. That's why I started buying season tickets. I was going to 5, 6, 7 games a year, anyways. And me and my friend Tony, who still he maintain, even though he lives in Portland, Oregon now, still buys a season ticket every year to maintain his seniority. We got to that point where we're like, why not just buy season tickets? We're going to so many games. At least we'll know where we're sitting, instead of wandering around. All right, which section are we in this week? And yada, yada, yada. And so I probably saw Barry play there.
While they were building the Palace, didn't the Pistons play there for like 3 years?
I saw many Pistons. Yeah, I saw many Pistons games there too. As a matter of fact, I saw the Silverdome record for basketball points scored and attendance, 2 different games. The attendance one was Julius Erving, and Bell Tire was giving out free tickets. So they got 63,000 people in there for a basketball game. And I was a Julius Erving fan and then another game. I had a neighbor who used to hook me up with Pistons. He was he had a skybox both there, and then he migrated to the Palace as well. I don't know why he liked me. This was back when I was in college. I was an obnoxious partying college kid, but him and his wife took a shining to me for some unfathomable reason. And so he'd hook me up with these tickets. 4th row, right behind the basket. Dantley went off for 48 that night, but we lost in overtime because Jordan scored 63. And a bunch of that was Jordan in my face going full Jordan when it was young Jordan. And that was I won't forget that game anytime soon.
I was going to say, at least you got to see the man play, and I never did that. Obviously, grew up in Pittsburgh, so obviously I don't have a basketball team. So, my closest team would either be the Cavs, which I was a Mark Price fan. I do have his jersey somewhere. I was a Reggie Miller fan
guy.
too.
Embrace Julius Erving because of the Pittsburgh Pisces. You ever see The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
No.
It's an old school. It's cheesy. I mean, this is cheese with cheese piled with cheese on top. But it's a Dr. J movie where he basically is a basketball star on a floundering Pittsburgh team called. They changed their name to the Pisces because they get like this guru who's into astrology and stuff and says, no, we have to embrace the Pisces aspect. But Dr. J was the king of your Pittsburgh fictitious team.
My favorite 20 was Billy Sims, but I saw him at least Barry play 5 times live, including the playoff game. And I know you were there, James, because we talked about it.
Yep.
When we whooped up on Dallas.
Yep. Little did I know that was the highlight of my football life for the next 30 plus years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've had it rough. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, since 2000, as bad as the Millen and Mayhew era was, and we had the 0-16 season, we have still been in the basement less times in this millennium than the Chicago Bears.
That's sad because you guys should have been so much better.
It's true.
One thing a lot of people forget about the Sanders era, and everybody's, if Barry would have ran behind Dallas's offensive line. Well, we had right after this was the year we went to the play. I was sitting.
I think Dallas would have been a good fit for Barry
zone when Mike Utley was paralyzed. It was a game against the Rams. We scored a touchdown on that play. Everybody's doing this, including my cousin who was sitting next to me. And I'm like, dude, man, we got a guy down. He's not moving. And it turned out to be Utley. And Utley probably wasn't headed to the Hall of Fame, but he'd have played some Pro Bowls. He was that good.
Right.
We still end up going to the playoffs and playing well. And then in that very offseason, we have a second-year player who was already all-pro ready, not Pro Bowl ready, named Eric Andelsick. Guy was an absolute beast. He was one of the best guards in the league already, second year, and gets killed because he's out trimming his bushes. He's got headphones on, so he can't hear anything. Some guy falls asleep at the wheel of his semi-truck, runs into him, and kills him.
Right.
So all of a sudden, man, you lose a couple of high-end offensive linemen like that. Now you're floundering. And the other thing was we made one horrible decision back then. Everybody, even, Sports Illustrated, New York Times, everybody thought it was the brilliant move to make signing Scott Mitchell. Warren Moon was a free agent the same offseason. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I know it hurts. I know it hurts.
Such a dick.
Instead of signing Warren Moon, and we were running the run and shoot, which Warren Moon was the master of.
Right.
And we go out and we get Scott Mitchell. Oops.
Yeah, Mitchell's right.
Yeah, this just in, quarterback matters.
But we never should have got rid of Eric Kramer. You're absolutely right.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and then Joe Montana, before he went to the Chiefs, said he called William Clayford Sr. himself, saying he wanted to play for the Lions, and William Clayford Sr. told him no.
He did a lot of dumb things.
He must not have thought he was very good.
The male part of this is why Sheila is so important to the turnaround of the Lions. The male Fords running a successful, ginormous corporation like that get into the habit of thinking that that's the way to hire for your football team too. The Fords lost Don Shula. They lost. We could have had Bill Parcells. There was a general manager who lost a power. What was it? It was Russ and another guy. I can't remember him, Jeremy.
Think who we had as an assistant young in his career.
Oh, yeah, Bill Belichick. Yeah, we let him
Bill Belichick as an assistant on the Lions, and they let him walk out the building.
Yeah. So, but the Fords,
the Browns.
Yeah, big mistake. So, but the male Fords.
Well, I mean, the whole Browns team. The whole Browns team got bought out,
right?
And the new franchise was made. So this is why none of the records got moved to Baltimore that were all Cleveland. That's why Jim Brown is still a Cleveland Brown
Mhm.
because they left as an expansion team. They didn't leave as a already team.
Mhm.
And
But-
I fight with my Cleveland people all the time on this.
The real beginning of the turnaround for the Lions was Sheila inheriting control of the team from Martha, because the male Fords, I mean, was it Bill Ford Jr. thought that he who shall not be named, the Voldemort of the Lions, a certain general manager, they made hirings based on the same way they ran their auto company. Let's get a good pal who me and him both agree, and we'll just damn the torpedoes full speed ahead. Sheila was a competitive athlete in college.
Tennis.
Yeah, tennis. She was a competitive college tennis player. All state in high school, and she just came in wanting to win. But she understood one thing none of the male Fords never did, and that is, I don't have the first clue about how to run a football team. And so she got a good team. Chris Spielman being one of them. Pretty sure he got a little bit of unsolicited advice from Rick Spielman, but that certain things can't be said. But I've heard that that's the case. They got together a few other guys. They got who was the old guy? He was former
DM.
Yeah. But anyways, they went out and got guys with big Rolodexes who could call anybody in the league and say, "Hey, what do you think about so and so? What do you think about so and so?" And ended up landing Brad, and things steamrolled from the general manager. He's the first decent general manager our team's ever had. The Steelers, you guys have been godlike since the 70s. I mean, they've just done how to build a franchise. See, the Steelers were lousy up until the late 60s.
Dude, we were lousy from 33 to 71.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's and then but once you got the formula, now look.
Yeah, it's called Chuck Noll.
Yeah, well,
Chuck
Chuck
Noll,
Noll.
Bill
Well, we
Cowher,
lucked. Well, we
Mike
also
Noll.
lucked out on that draft too. We
That
got
wasn't the
Ham.
only good draft, though. You guys had that was the best draft in history. Don't
We
get
had
me wrong.
Ham. We had what? Almost all 6 rounds were Hall of Famers.
And you pulled, and that was back
Jack
when it went down
Lambert.
to like 11 rounds. And I think you pulled, who was the center? I think he was like 10th
Mike
rounder.
Webster.
Mike
Yeah,
Webster.
Webster. He was like 9th, 10th, 11th, or something like that. Hall of Famer. As
Jack
good as
Ham,
it got.
Jack Lambert.
Mean
I would
Joe
say Mean Joe Green was part of that class.
Yes, he was.
I think that was
That's-
Jack Ham that year too.
Yep.
That was insane. But you guys got a general manager
And there's
who
the
got a
other
head
three,
coach.
Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swan, and Stallworth, all in the same year.
That's what Corey just put up there. I just saw it.
Yep.
And even though the greatest team,
I just want to clear things up. I'm a Steelers fan, but I'm not a Tomlin fan.
I know.
Gotcha.
But at the
I
same
understand.
time, you
Aaron
can't knock the
Andrews did a
fact that
sit-down interview with Mike Tomlin the other. What was
I
it
understand.
prior to the Eagles game?
I understand it's mediocrity, but at the same time, to never have a losing season is impressive. For a team that, like mine,
Okay.
that languished for so long.
We would have
I-
killed
we
Tomlin.
Yeah, we've envied.
This
you
is
guys.
what I tried to tell you, Adam, as a Bills fan. Like Jeremy saying the same thing. To me, as a Bills fan, we're good now, but you don't remember the 17-year playoff draw where we could have taken if we could have had a coach that did what half of what Tomlin did, the Bills would have been good then too.
Look, if we had entered that during Cowher's years, I'm sure we would have been riding him out of town too.
Well, one thing the Steelers fans have been spoiled for the last 50 plus years is riches. I mean, how many losing seasons have you guys had since 71?
2003 they did. It was 7-9 or 6-10 or something like that. Before they drafted Big Bad. Then they drafted Big Bad in that following draft.
Brilliant draft pick, by the way. Brilliant. Big Ben was what, a 10th pick overall?
11th.
11th. We'll just go
crazy.
Yeah, we'll just go get a forever quarterback, number 11 overall.
You know, it was funny. He was considered a dual threat quarterback coming out of college. He could run too. Like a lot of people thought he was just a stone in the pocket. No, he had wheels in his earlier years.
He was
until
so
got
damn
older.
big, it was impossible to tackle. He was just huge. But even as a Lions fan, I even have to point to the greatest team ever to not win a Super Bowl, those early 90s Buffalo teams. Probably never get
Absolutely,
the
the
credit
no
they
huddle,
deserve.
Jim Kelly, the
Yeah,
K-Gon.
I was just going to say the K-Gun, Marv Levy.
By the way,
Yeah.
Jamie, I finally read that last night. Great article.
Glad you
The one
like
about
that.
the one about Jim Colley. I see.
They're
I do less of the nostalgia
You
stuff.
mentioned about Levy though, James, and everything. That was part of the problem too. When they got in the Super Bowl, he never prepared his teams as well as he should have though, like for those games.
Norwood kicks the one. We're not even talking about 0-4.
But guess what? That game should have never came down
No,
to that.
you guys should have gotten a lot closer.
It shouldn't have come down to that though,
Mm.
because the Bills scored every time they touched the ball, but the Giants had the ball for like 40 minutes in terms of time of possession. So if they at least stopped the Giants on the defense, it would have never came down to that field goal.
I love
Right.
Corey's random Steelers, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, Levon Kirkland, Greg Lloyd, Cornell Lake.
That was
Cornell Lake's son plays now for the Chargers or the Rams, one of the two.
the Washington Redskins did the same thing against the Bills with their hog molly offensive line. They just kept that no huddle offense off the field, and they got so far behind in the Super Bowl that their offense, that even their no huddle couldn't come back with it. All 4 times, that's how it was.
And one little known fact about those early 90s Buffalo teams, they also changed the Pro Bowl because of Steve Tasker.
Is Jordan Love hurt, or is he just getting pulled?
He's probably just
Malik-
getting old.
Malik
Probably
Willis is
getting
in this
pulled.
game.
No, they're up 27-0. I think.
Yeah, it's 27-0 with less than
With
5
5
to
minutes.
go.
Yeah, with less than 5 to go, they're pulling them. So
Malik Willis is in.
you know what's weird is we could talk about like my hometown here, Flint, Michigan, used to be a hotbed of NFL and NBA talent. And
The
it went all the
Flintstones
way
at
back.
MSU.
Well, it goes all the way back to 1965, graduating
Mhm.
class of Bendel High School. Paul Krause.
Oh, yeah.
Tony
And then-
Dungy is a free safety Super Bowl champion for the Steelers.
Dated Paul Krause's niece. Her name was Renee Geiger. I lived in
Yeah,
Grand Blanc, not too far from there.
Yeah. I know. We talked about this, Gabe.
Yep.
But at the same time, then you had Andre Rison, Courtney
Mhm.
Hawkins, Mark Ingram Sr. and Jr., all from Flint.
Flint's a little smaller now than it used to be, though.
Right. But they still have a lot of those big schools that rank high in the state.
Oh, Flint Northwestern used to be a nightmare to play in any sport.
The Vikings.
I don't know anything about him.
It's local high school stuff. Oddly enough, the Metro Detroit area for a long time started getting shut out of the high school, other than a couple of private schools in the smaller divisions, because West Michigan got Texas-like. I mean, they were like on television. I went to a school called East Grand Rapids. It was a public school, but it was like going to a private school. Our head coach had NFL experience. This was in 1982.
Damn.
82? Yeah. And so he was building a program. And we weren't any good. We were all a bunch of white guys, you know. We had like 2 black guys. Both of them were running backs. No, 1 defensive back, 1 running back. And we won the state championship. Wasn't because we were the best athletes. I'll tell you that right now. Although I could kick 45-yard field goals against the defense. But that caught on the west side of the state, and it's now just getting back over to this side of the state where they're really taking the Texas approach to high school football and this matters kind of thing.
So
But
you
yeah,
were
Patty
a
Grimes, you're
kicker?
exactly right. Now Grand Blanc football is starting to get good.
Back when I was growing up and I went to Grand Blanc High School, basically we're a huge school, right? 2,500 students. So we'd get athletes. Plus we would also cheat and pay guys to come in from Mount Morris and stuff.
Mhm. I know.
Yeah, that just happened because Grand Blanc had some money. And but we'd still get our asses kicked by Escanaba every year in the playoffs.
They're not.
Right.
Once we finally beat them, I think that was my junior year, some freshman threw a party after this, and he was not one of the cool kid freshmen. So basically 500 hammered high school students went over to his place after the game that we beat Escanaba. And this was, again, back in the 80s. If I'm not mistaken, the damage was in excess of $40,000.
Well, this isn't even a game. It's going to be 35-0 here shortly.
I wrote this off before it started. We have one team with motivation, skill, talent, and coaching, and another team that lacks most of that.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to hop off here too. It's been one hell of an evening, but I need a cigarette, and I don't smoke in the house.
Same here. Hey,
But that's
It's
why
been
I'm
fun.
called Smoking Jeremy B when I'm podcasting. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat that showed up tonight, especially the guys from my channel. I want to say thank you to you, James, for actually hopping on.
All right, thanks for inviting me. I'm serious. I've got nothing to do tonight.
We usually do this on Tuesday, but because of the holiday, we moved it up.
Well,
Are we going to do it next Tuesday?
I will be. Around
I don't
next
know.
Tuesday.
That's New Year's Eve, right? So
Yeah.
it might be Monday.
No, that's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the
wait,
eve of New
no,
Year's Eve.
yeah, exactly. New Year's Eve. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Probably do Monday, Jerem. Probably do Monday next week again.
So Monday night
it
again.
is.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to join. I get out of work at 7, so 9's perfect for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll be out at 7 myself, so I'm usually home by about 8. I get puppy walked, and then of course I'll end up walking her halfway through the show.
I'll
But
do the same thing. If you want to be a part, pop in the chat, say hi, and I'll send the link there, James.
Yeah,
oh,
I
by the
don't.
way, Best Lions logo.
Right. Back when we were champions, that one.
Yeah, we were good. Once upon a time.
I still want that Barry Sanders all like shiny blue shirt.
Oh,
Kinda
you
like
talking
this.
about the throwback?
Yeah,
Although Barry looked so badass.
great
Like
with the gray pants.
Yeah,
You see the signature? That's Barry Sanders.
Beautiful.
okay. I kind of hate you, Jeremy, but that's cool. No, that
You
Barry
were
was
talking
wearing
about
those. Barry was wearing that exact jersey you were talking about. The Monday night game that we played against the Raiders, where after the game, Bo Jackson to the press came out and he says, "Man, when I grow up, I want to be like Barry Sanders." And this was Bo Jackson, who was no slouch.
Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's how I end every single one of my speeches, because it's the only way that we ourselves can change the world to be a better place.
I'm not sure where Jamie went, but
Oh, he's right here.
Jamie,
I'm here.
Have a great
All
night,
right.
guys.
all right, Merry Christmas, boys.
Merry
Like I
Christmas.
said,
Merry
Jamie, we're
Christmas,
probably gonna
one
do
and
this
all.
next. We're probably gonna do this next Monday too.
Okay.
We'll see you
That way
then.
Tuesday's New
You
Year's
guys
Eve.
Have a
and-
good one.
Nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
gentlemen.
Dave.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
guys.
I mean it.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, sir.
Yep.
Are we done? Jamie, how people get you, bud?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can follow me at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags on X. You guys also can follow me on theforkball.com, where I write about all sports news and all different types of topics and angles. You also can check us out. Check us out at Driving to the Top Productions. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Driving to the Top, because we're looking to always get better. Don't forget to like, comment, and ring the bell for notifications. And for more content on Driving to the Top Productions, please visit our YouTube page, Twitch stream, Facebook stream, X, wherever you consume your podcast. Thank you guys very much for listening. Go subscribe, and as always, we're Driving to the Top. And Joe and I will be resuming our Bills podcasts on Tuesday, January 7th in 2025. I want to wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy New Year, and be safe tomorrow and Wednesday. And we'll see you next week
Monday.
as we'll be ringing out 2024 and ringing in 2025 with open mic.
Let's go. No, I think we're gonna do it Monday, which Tuesday would be New Year's Eve.
Yeah, my bad, but we'll be ringing out 2024 in style with the last open mic of 2024.
Absolutely. I thank everyone for tuning in and want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Jamie said, ring that bell, follow the Driving to the Top YouTube. You can get me at Sports Talking It or at Driving to the Top on Twitter. And everybody have a Merry Christmas and have a good night, guys.